What's up? What's up, y'all? Y'all know me. I like to make sure everything is connected properly. And there's nothing wrong with that. You got to trust and verify. Okay. Let me make sure the sound good. The sound is good. We in this thing. We in this thing. This live is about to get real. Couple new people probably watching from YouTube. We had some YouTube drama this week. My people, my people. So, shout out to Raham Detroit, Team Pursuit, 4820 Live. I just left their event. That's why I'm dressed up a little bit. Y'all usually see me, I'm t-shirts and jeans or whatever, but today I'm dressed up a little bit. It ain't much, but I'm dressed up a little bit. I got a couple, got my diamonds in. I don't dress up all the time, y'all. So if I dress up, I must like you a little bit. But I'm not I'm not here for that. I love the event. The event was nice. I'll post some pictures in a minute. But I wanted to get home and get on this live ASAP. I wanted to get on this live ASAP because I've had a crazy week. If you are not familiar with me, then I am a 10-time convicted felon as an adult, and I have a very credible history in the streets that does not include any type of paperwork. Dig as you may. So, a little earlier today, I read an article and then watched a video about Lil Baby being offered a certain amount of money and turning the money down. Excuse me, y'all. I got a cough drop. I had a long week. But he turned $150 million down trying to be loyal to P from QC Music. And it was crazy because I'm watching these different clips and I'm like, dog, it's been rumored for probably 10 years that this man was a rat. And I'm like, dog, when they start showing the videos of Young Thug in prison talking about P, and he was telling Lil Baby, listen, bro, a rat is a rat, a snake is a snake. And he was just explaining to him, dude is who he is. It's only so much you could expect from dude. He getting down on you. This not what you want. Like the way he explained everything to him, you could tell dude was really trying to pull his coattail to something. But Lil Baby had already had his mind made up or whatever he had going on. He felt some odd and weird sense of loyalty to dude. So he felt like, dude brought me out the streets. And I felt Lil Baby. I felt what Lil Baby was saying. I understood where Lil Baby was coming from. But what Young Thug was trying to explain to him was that you cannot trust this person. This person has done some things that we don't approve of coming from where we come from. And if he's willing to do that type of thing, then ain't no telling what he doing on this side. And he was even explaining that the Migos had bought themselves out of their contract and they had problems with him. And he was just explaining to Lil Baby, like, man, this ain't, dude ain't that. Like, don't let dude pull the wool over your eyes and make you feel like you have some sense of loyalty to him and he don't have the same thing for you. Well, as it come down to it, it showed, and a deal was presented to Lil Baby, and the deal was for his publishing rights or whatever, some rights to his music. And it is said that $150 million deal was on the table, and out of loyalty to P, he did not take the deal. And what he did was he explained what was going on to P, and P backdoored him. He backdoored him. He got 300 million and gave him shit. He ain't really looked out, ain't did nothing. But you hear deals like this all the time in the music business. And it is nothing new for artists to be screwed over. And this situation is so regular that it's not even talked about enough. So P had his artist sign 360 deals, and they had to pay crazy amounts of money to even challenge the deal. It was like one of the craziest things in the world for people to have you sign a deal that says if you want to get out of this deal, it may be three, four, five, six, whatever million. So what P did was have his lawyers help Lil Baby and other artists with their contract and then sign a contract. That's called conflict of interest. And it should be a reason for you to get out of your contract. But the way he has this contract written up is like ironclad. So you have people like Offset or whoever else that may have access to a little money, and they were able to buy their way out the contract, and he still had clauses in there that they couldn't do certain things. This is a slime ball maneuver, but you should be watching for the slime ball maneuver if somebody is a rat. This is what comes from it. Even when you're out of the street. So when the paperwork surfaced, P came on there and said, "Look, I'm a businessman. I ain't in the street, blah, blah, blah." But when you told, you were definitely in the streets. You were definitely heavy in the streets, allegedly. And when you told, you were definitely in the streets. So it's not like somebody ran up on you at this point and you was like, "Look, dog, this ain't even my thing. Police, please help me. I am a law-abiding citizen. Please help me." That is not what happened. You were definitely in the streets, and they killed your man's, and I think they shot him, and he was worried about the get back, and he got somebody like 20 years in prison, y'all. It just is what it is. That's not what I want to talk about here. The paperwork is the paperwork. What I want to talk about here is the business and artists being confused and not understanding that the business is the business. You have to find lawyers and managers and money management people, financial advisors, different things like that that you trust. You cannot trust these labels and whoever they recommend and all of that. These people are working for them. They are working for them, or they are working to get a piece of the deal. So they're not going to do anything to jeopardize the deal. So you will be in a crazy position trying to judge, trying to trust people who don't have your best interests at heart. It doesn't matter if somebody says, "You're my brother, you're like a son to me." You see what happened with Lil Wayne and Baby. All of that, "you're my son," and kissing a man in the mouth and acting like it's the mob and doing things like that, it means nothing. When it comes down to millions and millions of dollars, a snake is a snake is a snake. And you will be slimeball if they find any way to get away with it. So after watching this documentary and just doing some research, I'm like, man, P was lining these guys up right from the beginning. He lined up Migos, he lined up all these other people, then he lined up Lil Baby, and he basically had Lil Baby out there like a hoe on a stroll, just out there. And Lil Baby has so much talent and so much drive. And it's not like he was the best rapper off the rip. What you got to realize is Lil Baby was a hustler that they were like, "You need to rap. Like, you got the swag, you got the hustle, you need to rap." So what P did was make minimum investments, which means he went and sent Baby on the road and had Baby doing shows and holding the walls and doing everything to build up his reputation. It's not like he put $1 million behind Lil Baby and Lil Baby took off. It's not like he bought billboards all around the country and did, bought ads on on radio stations or on Facebook and Instagram. He didn't do that. He basically had Lil Baby in holding the walls and doing a chitlin circuit and doing whatever else to build his name up. And it was minimum investment. And Lil Baby handled his business because he a hustler. Now you're taking 50, 60, 70, 80% of his profits, and it looks like Lil Baby is doing all right for himself. I'm not in his pockets, but it don't look like he hurting, but he's definitely not getting what he truly deserves. And Young Thug know this because Young Thug has been in contracts and he was already a huge celebrity before Lil Baby became one. And he was telling him while he was locked up, "Look, man, your situation is not right and you need to get out of there." And they're going to make it like, "Oh my God, Thug this or he was wrong or whatever." But this is somebody waking up and talking to their friend. "Bro, I love you. You need to figure this out sooner rather than later. Get up out of there." And then he's explaining to him like, dude ain't right and he ain't been right. And then they were talking about other people that ain't right and ain't been right. But he's saying, I don't care if this man gave me $1 million. Hell, he didn't care if he gave him $10 million. I'm saying a snake is going to be a snake, and it's going to be a snake. And that's what rats are. They are rats and they are snakes, and they will find a way to do some slime ball stuff to you. That's why I don't trust them. So from a business standpoint, P wasn't wrong. From a friend standpoint, he was wrong as hell. So this is one of the comments that's on Facebook. It's kind of hard to put the comments from Facebook on there. All of the other places I can put on there and post these comments. But basically, my guy Pooh, whose real name is Logan Bynum, and that's what his name is on Facebook, he said from a business standpoint, P wasn't wrong, but from a friend standpoint, he was wrong as hell. This is where the problem lies. He is presenting himself as a friend. You don't turn that on and off. You can turn business on and off. You can't turn friend or brother or father, son, whatever type of relationship a record executive is carrying on with you. You cannot turn that on and off. Right? You could turn the business relationships, you could turn on and off. But the personal relationships, you cannot turn on and off. You cannot tell me that you love me and then slime ball me. And then tomorrow we supposed to be cool. Oh man, it's just business. It's not just business. If you love me enough, you'll give me something fair. It doesn't mean you'll cheat yourself, but it means you'll give me something fair and you'll give me a fair shot. That's what good business is. I'm going to give you something fair and I'm going to give you a fair shot. If you're presenting yourself as a record executive and I'm presenting myself as an artist, then I know what type of battle we're in. But if you present yourself as a friend or a father figure or a big brother, and then I let my guard down and I'm not facing you, or I'm not challenging you as a record executive. I'm trusting that you have my best interests at heart because of the relationship that you are claiming that we have, then you're slimeballing me. But I'm not blaming P. The music business has always been like this. Only recently did record executives start saying, this is my brother. When there started to be black record executives and we started to feel like this is my brother. This is my sister. This is somebody whom I have a family kindred soul with, somebody that I could trust. And you let your guard down. And as soon as you let your guard down, they slice your throat. That's what happened to Lil Baby. So now Lil Baby was presented with an offer, from what I hear. This offer was for $150 million and whatever his rights were. That's cool. He turned the offer down like, no, man, I ain't doing my dog like that. This is my bro. We gonna eat together. So he tell P about the deal. P turned around, slime ball. Either he ran back up on Scooter Braun or Scooter Braun doubled around and said, look, man, I can go get what I want another way. Either way it go, the same courtesy was not afforded to Lil Baby. So dog then got down. Boom, 300 million. I'm not even tripping on you getting the 300 million. My catalog is what they obviously wanted. If my offer was about half of that, break bread with me. You don't got to give me the 300 million. Give me 20 of it. You know what I'm saying? Give me 50 of it, whatever. But this is the type of person that he is. So when Young Thug started talking about him being a rat and the paperwork being out and all this stuff, most people are so caught up with this stop snitching campaign or this whatever, they don't realize that there are deeper meanings to things like that. What he was telling him is that this man is a slime ball and he's going to slime ball you. That's what people are misunderstanding. If somebody is a rat, then it's not about them being a rat or you being a street person or not being a street person. If somebody is a rat and they went and got somebody 20 years, all Thugger was trying to explain to him, like, man, dog don't have a backbone. That's it. That's what him saying, man, dude ain't right or dude a rat. It's just telling him, dude don't got a black bone. Dude don't have a backbone. You are laying in the bed with a snake. That's all he telling him. And it's not about, oh, he a rat, go kill him, or he a rat, cut him off, he a rat, or he a rat, do this. He's just telling him rats don't have backbones. That's how they get through those little holes in your wall. They don't got backbone. It's literally they shrink up and they go through and then they right back to size. So he's just telling him, man, listen, bro, I love you, bro. You laying in the bed with a snake, get out of there. Get out of there. And little baby didn't listen and it could have cost him dearly. This is how life works. It is not about me being in the streets, y'all. I'm a recent MBA graduate. It's been about a year and a half. I don't know how recent that is, but I am an MBA graduate. Is you see the degrees back there? Those are real degrees. There are real letters behind my name. I'm not worried about who ratting and who not ratting. I'm not selling nickel bags in the park. I don't care about that. When people talk about this, it's about character. So if somebody is a rat, I would like to know because it shows what type of character they have. That's it, and that's all. I don't want to do nothing to them. I probably don't want to see nothing done to them. I don't care what happens to them. But if they are a rat and they've been exposed for being a rat, I would like to know. And I feel like it's my right to know because it shows me how to carry that. Let's take away from the streets right quick. Let's say you are a police officer and you are doing certain things with other police officers. Let's say these things are not illegal. I wouldn't sell nickel bags in the park, Vicky, but let's say these things are not illegal. But this police officer is your friend, your fellow police officer. This is your partner. Let's say you do something and it's not something that's jeopardizing this. It's maybe something against company policy. Maybe you stopped and you shouldn't have stopped at the donut shop. I know that's kind of cliche with the police and donuts, but let's just say you stopped at the donut shop and you shouldn't have stopped at the donut shop. Nothing terrible happened. It wasn't like you couldn't make it to a stop, somebody died. Nothing that was crazy. Let's just say that's a part of your protocol is that you're not supposed to stop at that donut shop from A to B. And let's say your partner went and wrote a report on you. Mr. Johnson stopped at Dodo's Donuts and this and that. This is against policy number 446321. And I told him he shouldn't do it. And he told me, what are you going to do? Write me up? So I told him, yes, I'm writing them up. Use a rat. Use a rat. Now I don't know what I can do in front of you, bro. You a rat. This is the problem with rats. It's not about it being in the streets. Oh, he robbed an old lady and nobody came for it. You terrible. Oh, they killing kids and nobody came for it. You terrible. If somebody killing kids and you know what's up, get their ass off the street. I ain't on that. Especially if you are a law-abiding citizen. It is your duty to help protect your neighborhood. I'm a law-abiding citizen. It is my duty to help protect my neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? If that's how you feel, you know what I mean? But if you are in the streets, you should handle your business in the streets. And that's not what P did. So it showed what kind of character he had. If you look at his pictures, the man has no soul anyway. He is lining these guys up and playing all chum with them. You my brother. I'm your brother. You big, I'm big bro. I'm gonna show you how to get this money. And he may. He may show you how to make 1 million or 2 or 3. But if he's making 100 million and not willing to give you a piece of the pie, then it's time to rethink your deal. It's time to get up out of there. It's time to get up out of there. And that's what the problem was. So I seen Young Thug telling little baby, look, man, dog ain't right. Look, man, we know dog ain't right. And it was like, little baby really didn't want to hear that. He like, that's my big bro. I don't want to hear that. It's my big bro. So that ended up crazy. So before I get into the F the Streets campaign, the background, 21 Savage has been shot. He been through a lot of stuff. I don't know him personally, but I've heard he has a pretty good reputation in the streets. And this week he started talking about F the streets, man, leave the streets alone. Y'all get together. He started talking about different peace treaties that he offered, and guys need to squash these beefs and we need to focus on this money. And I completely agree with that man. I completely agree with that man. What's up, cuz? My cousin Damien just joined us, my real cousin. What's up, cuzzo? So I completely agree with that man. Like, it's definitely time for people to let it go. Like, let the streets go. Let's go make some money. I know it's been bloodshed sometimes, and shout out to Skinny Man uh from the east side. Skinny Man was basically just talking about um how the 7 Mile Bloods and the 4-2s got together to squash their beef. It's bloodshed. It's all kind of stuff going on. But people are sitting down at the table now. And a lot of the stuff that you're seeing now is like crazy violence. It's not like the OGs are facilitating some type of gang war or something. I'm 40 years old, y'all. I didn't got to the point where I don't want to see anything bad happen to anybody. Even though I'm on here talking about P from QC, I don't want to see anything bad happen to him. I'm just using him as an example of what happens when you lay in bed with a snake. That's it. We are getting to a point where it's getting old. It's getting old. The violence is getting old. The pointless beefing and chattering back and forth is getting old. It's getting to a point where it's doing a lot more harm than good. Cause you have people losing money on tours. Like Young Boy couldn't even go to certain cities and perform. He couldn't even perform in certain cities because they were saying that it was a chance of violence, not that a violence was being threatened. It was a chance of violence because of the gangs in that city or that part of the city or whatever else. People are losing millions of dollars a year because they want to beef online and in records and all of that. And that's crazy that you would take food out of your kid's mouth so you can go back and forth with another nigga. That's the craziest thing to me. And it makes sense if you are under 25. Yeah, if you under 25 and you want to beef and stuff and play internet games, yeah, I ain't tripping. But if you 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, all that, you got no reason to go back and forth online with people that you can reach out to and have a phone conversation with. Or you could beg to differ and don't have a conversation. You don't have to have a conversation. But it's enough money out here for everybody, even in the streets. Even in the streets, it's enough money for everybody. The way that the whole industry is turning out, everybody pumping up drill music, everybody pumping up, oh, King Von was this or such and such was that, and all. It's so violent, and a lot of our youth don't want to watch anything unless it's some level of violence in it. They are desensitized to violence, the video games, the music, everything. People are desensitized to violence, but that doesn't matter if everything was put in context. Listen, y'all beefing for nothing. Some of this stuff is so old that you didn't forgot what you beefing about. You just carrying on the beef. You just smoking whoever. I'm smoking such and something, smoking this. You don't even know why you smoking them. You've been smoking them for 20 years. I'm smoking JoJo. I'm smoking Tuka. I'm smoking whoever. Like, bruh, who cares? No other people are doing what we're doing right now. We are self-destructing and imploding from the inside. We're imploding from the inside. And then we're killing people that's making real progress. Like, it was no reason for Nipsey to die. It's sad. It's been a few years or whatever, but this is somebody who's trying to show you the way. How are you killing people that's trying to show you the way? Now you can't even get out the darkness. People don't even see how much that hurt a community. And that community could have, things could have spread. People watching this can come use the same techniques and tactics. We are killing ourselves. We are chopping ourselves at the bud. We don't even get to grow. We don't even get to grow. We don't even get to learn from people that are ahead of us or come before us because we hating somewhere. We're hating somewhere. We're somewhere hating on somebody that could teach us something. And I don't mean having an opinion about something. I mean literally hating. Man, I can't stand this guy. I can't stand this. This guy wrote a whole book that could help you make $100 million over the next 3 years. But you over there with an opinion about something that they agree with. Oh, I don't support him because he put on a Make America Great Again hat. Like, what are you talking about, stupid? This man just dropped a 50-page book that's $100 million blueprint, and you don't want to read it because he put on a red hat. Anything that's different from you, you want to fight it. Anybody disagree with you, you find a way to make them wrong. Like, man, they stupid. They don't know nothing. Right? That's like me. You can't give me advice. I got an MBA. Why can't I listen to business advice? I got an MBA. I don't got to listen to you. Like, what are you talking about? That man worth $100 million. Go get some of this game. Even P worth $150 million. Even while I'm listening to stuff, I'm getting some game. It don't mean that I'm about to do slime ball stuff, but a bro clock right at least twice a day. You get some game. We've gotten to the point where we push our elders to the side instead of letting them give us some game. Our elders and OGs can say, look, man, violence don't be this good for nothing, man. Let's just focus on the money, young dog. It's gonna be all right, man. You gotta just keep your head on the swivel, young dog. Do what you do. Man, this old nigga, he ain't getting no money. This old nigga ain't doing. Like, what are you talking about? This man is 65, 70 years old. He didn't get there by accident. Even if you don't agree with everything he says, I'm sure a 5, 10 minute conversation. I'm sure that a 5 or 10 minute conversation, you can at least get a nugget or two. We don't even respect our elders. That's why we're falling so far behind. We are looking at our elders as, man, these niggas washed up. This is my time. It's my time, man. Man, anybody listen to this old washed up, man, nigga, we been eating, nigga. Niggas better get some money. Then you look up, your man's just snitched on you. You in jail doing 40 years, and your home, the OG done already told you, man, you got to stop hanging with all them niggas. Man, you got to keep them niggas around. Tighten up your circle, young dog. You got to do this and that and that. You done basically disregarded everything he said because you making a couple dollars and he not. You done just totally threw it to the side. It's crazy. All of the Jim Crow stuff, people talk about light, dark. People talk about the male versus female and all of the stuff that was in there. They don't talk about the ageism enough. If a person could live 60, 70, 80 years old and you not want to be around them and get some type of game, you a fool. I listen to my elders. I am being coached right now by an older coach, and he is 70, I think 75 years old. And he's been coaching for over 23, 24 years. And I'm listening. You gotta respect your elders. If you can't respect your elders, and it's the same thing in hip hop and rap and the streets and whatever, it's everybody for themselves. Everybody for themselves. And some of that is the fact that the OGs don't want to get out the way. Get out the way. It's no reason for you to be shopping where I shop at. There's no reason for you to want to look young like the young boys where you can't even differentiate yourself. So the young boys are looking at you like y'all are equal instead of looking at you like the big homie. I have people 2 years younger than me, some of them less than that, that call me the big homie or big bro or different stuff like that. And they don't even realize I'm only 2 years older than them because I've always been mature. Some of y'all living in y'all second and third childhoods. Y'all want to be young so bad. Then y'all want them to listen to y'all, but they watching y'all trying to implement it, trying to duplicate what they doing. Y'all trying to copycat what the young kids doing. Y'all want to be 23 so bad, but y'all want them to respect y'all. You're 50 years old. You should not be trying to keep up with a 23-year-old and then want them to treat you like the big homie. That's crazy. That's crazy that you doing that. Yeah, the young cats. Listen, this is what I'm talking about. Shout out to Big He, the creator. This is my guy, one of my friends and producers. Listen, y'all. These young cats don't respect anything but money. They don't respect anything but money. So if you trying to give them some game and they looking at you and they like, man, this nigga got on these beat up Air Forces or something, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. And that's sad. You can bypass so much BS by listening to the old heads, man. So much BS. They know something. They know something, even if they not hood guys, even if they not, do rah 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 type of people. For them to live 75, 80 years anywhere, you have to know something. You have to have accumulated some type of knowledge. You had to have learned to maneuver everything that life gave you. You have people that have married someone, been married to them 35, 40 years and lose them. Do you know what kind of information they can give you? Do you know how willing they will be to give you that and to talk about how they survived with a person for 30 years? How they learned to live without them? That's something you may need. You may not need it today. You may need it in a month or 2 months or 3 months or 5 years. But to get that information and to file it in your system for later on is still a plus. It's still a plus. Even though Young Thug was fighting that case, he was explaining to little baby, man, dog is a snake, man. Get out of bed with him, man. Whatever it take, man, you need to get up out of there. And now this may be $150 million lesson for little baby. Warning comes before destruction. So I seen 21 Savages. Um, he said F the streets, right? And I agree. Not even a little bit, right? I agree I wholly agree. Right? I wholly agree with 21 Savage saying F the streets. The streets dead, y'all. I knew the streets was dead before I went and got degrees. I have 3 degrees right now and other certificates and different things. And I'm telling y'all, the streets dead. I don't care if you want to sell freeze cups on the side of the road in the middle of December. It's December in Detroit right now. And I don't care if you want to sell ice on the side of the road. Leave the streets alone, y'all. It's no win for you. I know you watching YouTube and all of these documentaries and they showing you how people made $100 million in the streets. And then you got the BMF show and Power and all of that stuff. And I'm telling you, you won't, it will not happen for you. It will not, I'm telling you, mano y mano, friend to friend, It will not happen for you. You will not make $100 million in the streets unless you already got it. You will not become some big kingpin and take over the projects or wherever else you live. Let it go. It will not happen for you. If it does happen, it won't last long and you'll regret it. Let it go. The streets don't love you or nobody else in the streets. Let it go. So when I see that F the streets, man, focus on the money. It's too much money to make out here for y'all to worry about street this, street that, do this and that and that. And I know it sounds like I'm contradicting myself, but that's because you're not thinking. You are not thinking deep enough to what I'm saying about P being a rat. I don't care that P a rat. I am not in the streets. But what I'm saying is, if you know that he a rat, then you can file this away for later, or you can make your moves accordingly. Because knowing that he's a rat, you already know he has no backbone. He'll snake you the first chance he get. So you need to handle your business accordingly. That's it. That's it, y'all. Know these people so you can maneuver around them. Know it. Do not disregard the fact that somebody ratted, testified, did all of that. It's a character flaw. And if they show you that character flaw, then you need to move accordingly. That's it. That's it. Now, I've had the past couple of days has been interesting. YouTube acting a little, they on YouTube. What's up, Mo? They on YouTube and dragging one of my rappies a little bit, and it's I say it's unwarranted, but it don't mean I agree with everything that was done in my case, but it was definitely them dragging is unwarranted, but I can see what's going on. So they were talking about Sue Surf. So in Sue Surf case, Sue Surf pled guilty and had to say whatever he said. I conspired with whatever some guys or whatever, and people like, oh, he a rat. It's the same thing with Young Thug or the whole YSL case, and those guys saying YSL is a gang. Listen, y'all, some of this stuff is propaganda. Them saying YSL is a gang, whatever, that's towing the line. But if it was a part of a cop and this kind of what was going on, we gotta kind of let that be. Like ratting to me is just a little different. I feel like it's so many real rats that we don't gotta pick straws at who's ratting. Ratting to me is, look, this is what he did, this is how he did it, such and such, such and such. Whether you are the victim of that crime or you are a co-conspirator or a co-defendant in that case. If you say this person had a gun, this person did this person, that's ratting to me. That's what ratting is to me. And it's not because I've done anything like that. Any type of statements or nothing. I seen one of the YouTube dudes bring up my part and the police said I had a couple bags of weed on me. So when they snatched me up, he was like, "Man, what you doing?" I said, "Man, I just bought that weed." He pulled the weed out my pocket. "Man, what you doing, man?" "I just bought that weed." "You came all the way from Detroit to buy?" "Yeah, I just bought that weed." "How you get here?" "The bus." That's it. That was the end. That was all my statement. So at the end of the day, everybody make decisions and we all got to live with our decisions. Was it a smart decision? Definitely not a smart decision. In my opinion, just as far as making statements, but a person got to realize I've been catching cases since I was 11. So even though I was the youngest person on my case, in my situation, I'm not telling you nothing. Same thing with my Fed case. I just don't tell you nothing. Even when it was time for me to plead guilty in my Fed case, hello, I'm Little Baby Fan. That's what's up. Even when it came to my Fed case, I'm not making a statement. I don't know. Just talk to my lawyer. Like that's my attitude because that's just the way that I learned in doing crime. It's just like, talk to my lawyer. I'm not never putting myself against a brick wall. But if other people did whatever they did, like I say, ratting to me is just different. It's different if you like, yeah, man, we went over there to rob them people and we did such and such. Like that's what ratting is to me. So that's my opinion as far as that go. Like people who've never had like a Fed case or anything like that, or even a state case in co-defendants. If you've had a Fed case, you probably have co-defendants because most of the feds is either like you got a conspiracy, or even if you don't, they somebody told on you to get the feds on you. So in my case, it was both. Somebody basically introduced me to the feds. The feds seen me and they was like, "Who is this dude?" And somebody was like, "Yeah, that's JP. He do X, Y, Z, blah 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 blah." And you know they had people working with him. But in my case, if you look up my case, I don't even have. It's no conspirators on my case. Nobody on my case has a name. So when I went to plead guilty to this conspiracy because I was trying to duck the RICO charge that initially I was fighting a RICO case. So I'm trying to duck the RICO charge and I'm like, look, I'll plead out to a conspiracy. Well, I didn't say it, but when my lawyer said that this that what they sent back as an offer, I agreed to plead out to this conspiracy. And I had no communications with these people to get my deal. So my lawyer basically was like, you know, pull up. They sent me an offer. So I just went over there, looked at the offer with my lawyer at his office, and was like, "That's cool. I'll take it." And that was it. I was next thing you know, I was pleading guilty. So, well, I was trying to plead guilty. If the first time I went to plead out, I couldn't plead guilty because I wasn't indicted. Like I went to court to plead guilty, and the judge was like, "Man, he's still not indicted. I can't." You know, it was literally like the weirdest thing. So I knew it was like funky stuff going on because they was like botching my case. So when the judge was like, I can't sentence him because he hasn't been formally indicted. So they had to get the indictment together, whatever they did, and it still was no conspirators on my. It's like it was crazy. I got no co-conspirators on a conspiracy case because they were working to indict somebody else or something. So I got no names. Obviously, I have conspirators, but there's no names on my case. Like so when I pled guilty, I didn't have to say, yeah, I work with such and such over here. And I didn't never had to say none of that. And when I pled guilty, all I had to say was I did conspire to sell pills, basically. That was it. I didn't have to say with who and what we did or nothing, because they don't have that in my paperwork. Like so everybody paperwork different. Like in my paperwork, it didn't say I went and did something on January 14th and did something else on September this and I did such and such and all of that. I never had to do none of that. My case was basically, were you involved in selling pills? And I was like fighting, fighting, fighting. I was like, all right, yeah, man, I was involved in selling pills. Then I asked them like, look, man, is me pleading guilty gonna affect somebody else? And they were like, no, it's nobody to affect. It's no name in your paperwork. You can't say that you did anything with a specific person. You got a conspiracy. Were you involved in selling pills? Yes, I was. Give me my time. And I got 60 months. And when it did my 60 months, and this was all in my sentencing. So if you look up the paperwork, you will see that what I'm talking about as sentencing. I'm like, Your Honor. So basically, I just want it on record that I don't know who my co-conspirators are. Like, yeah, you just got a conspiracy. And it's crazy because if you tell somebody that and they never been in the feds, they don't get it. People think, oh, you got a conspiracy case. You had to, if you pled guilty, then you did this and that. No, I pled guilty and went on about my business. I don't know what nobody else case ended up. You know what I'm saying? Until they like was found guilty and I seen it on the computer. I'm like, oh, you know what I'm saying? So they people don't know, man. Y'all digging in people paperwork and doing all this weird stuff online. And um most of it is like is different for every case. Like I said, if you talk to anybody, they'll be like, nigga, you ain't caught no case, you ain't did that, and you ain't got no conspirator. I don't got no conspirator, no fucking conspirators on my case, bro. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. You know what I mean? So y'all gotta get in, y'all gotta get in the like in the mode of learning. When you get in the mode of learning, you realize that everything different. So if Sue Surf, which is a battle rapper, if you're not familiar with Sue Surf, if Sue Surf had to plead guilty, he may had to say, yes, I conspired with others to rob people or to sell drugs or whatever. That don't make him a rat. Like I'm pleading guilty to my case. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I conspired with other people. Like that's him pleading guilty to his case. Like I said, I'm not taking up for him because my case is similar. I'm telling you, in my case, I don't have no name conspirators. Period. Nobody on my case. I don't have no name witnesses in my case. It's a um uh source of information's 1, 2, 3, whatever. It says CI 1, 2, 3, whatever. Like no names in my indictment. Like my indictment is funky. And it's not frontward facing funky. Like if you look it up, you can't find it. I'm telling you, I went and fought a case for 2 years and didn't know who my co-conspirators were. They just saying, nigga, well, you say, yeah, I sold pills, man. I've been selling pills. My thing is, what they charged me with was so much less than the pills that I sold that I just want to get out y'all way. I don't need you to tell me who I'm conspiring with. Just let me get out y'all way before these motherfuckers start telling and the numbers go up. Let me get the hell out y'all way. You know what I mean? So everybody case different, man. I'm pleading guilty and getting the hell on. So in my state case, as I explained on YouTube yesterday, like last night, in my state case, I had a state appointed lawyer, like a court appointed lawyer, and my court appointed lawyer name was Howard Arnkoff, and Howard Arnkoff was a slime ball lawyer that ended up being disbarred. Like when I tell y'all straight slime ball, and I felt like he was selling me up the creek. So when I pled guilty in my state case, I this is how I pled guilty, and you can look this up too. So, like I said, my criminal history and the things that I've done in my past and how I look at criminal activity is just a little different. So when I pled guilty, this is how I pled guilty. Mr. Hill, this is the judge talking to me. The judge say, Mr. Hill, did you knowingly go to the home with the intention to commit armed robbery? Yes, I did. Mr. Hill, did you knowingly possess a firearm? Yes, I did. I got to say this to be guilty. I'm pleading guilty because I've never made a statement in the case. They wouldn't let me take a nolo contendere plea. I had to say this is what I did to on record for me to be guilty. So I said, yes, I had a gun. Yes, I went with the intention to rob these people. And they said, the judge literally asked me, Mr. Hill, did your friends know you had a gun? I said, Your Honor, I'm not pleading guilty for them. I'm pleading guilty for me. I'm not saying what they knew or didn't know. I'm saying what I did. That's all I got to do. Mr. Hill, did your friends know that you had the intention to rob? Listen, man, I don't know I don't know, Your Honor. I'm saying I'm pleading guilty for me. I don't know what they knew. That's it. That's how I pled guilty. Find the paperwork. Everybody, these guys online, they on YouTube. They ain't talking crazy to me as they talk crazy in my co-defendant. But I'm telling you how I pled guilty. So when you talk about Gunner and them guys, I've had 2 cases as an adult where I was sure to say, I am not whatever. Did your friends know? I don't know what they know, Your Honor. I'm pleading guilty for me. And it was people in that courtroom, and they gonna tell you to say, that's it. I'm pleading guilty for me. Mr. Hill, did your friends know that you had a good listen, bro? All I'm telling you is I'm pleading guilty for me. I don't know what they know. They are their own men. So that was how the state case me pleading out went. How I played out in the feds, same situation. I hadn't made a statement. I didn't have no reason to. I got a lawyer ASAP, and my lawyer handled his business. And shout out to my guy, man. And he like when I tell y'all my lawyer was great, like he was great. He scared me a little bit at first because he was like, man, why don't you want to talk to them? Like, I don't want to, I don't trust him. So but he was great, y'all. And we fought that shit. We fought that shit for 2 years. He never he wanted his money. You know, he wanted his money, and I made sure he got his money, but he handled his business. And even on my sentencing, he put in a motion and got me less time based on sentencing disparities. And he handled his business because I pled out to 78 to 94 months. And a guy that they said that, my sentencing was relative to his because he got 68 months for the same amount of pills and all of this stuff. My lawyer say, that man had a classification of 6 in his criminal history. My client has a classification of 2, and it's no reason for my client to be looking at 78 months to 94, and y'all gave that man 68 months. And the judge said, I agree, Mr. Hill. How does 60 months sound? That was it. I had a motion to prove that sentencing that allowed me to get 60 months, which is technically the mandatory minimum for a conspiracy. And I went and did my time. The end. The end. No dirt on my name, state case or fed case. Jackpot is jackpot. It just is what it is. But what people have to realize is everything is based on my history with crime. By the time I caught my state case, I had already caught 2 felonies as a juvenile. I had already did time in Star Commonwealth, Boysville, Children's Village, Wolverine, whatever. Like I had been through the system. So my understanding is shut the hell up, don't say nothing, and let the lawyers deal with the case. That's it. And that's what I do. If I caught a case tomorrow, that's my way of dealing with my case. I don't care if it's a court appointed, paid lawyer, whatever. That's my way of dealing with my case. Some people they have their other things, and that's cool. I've seen people that, man, such and such try to talk their way out of it. That's his business. I can't call him a rat unless he go in there like, yeah, man, me and Jackpot planned on doing this, being such and such. You know what I'm saying? Like if you go in there ratting, you go in there ratting. In my particular case, it was so much that went into my state case that in order for you to be a rat on my state case, you'd have had to tell on more people because we wasn't even, we was just the damn do boys damn near. Like it was so much going on in my case that it wasn't no point in that. So and um I'm not arguing back and forth with internet niggas. You know what I'm saying? About especially about somebody else's case or they paperwork, whatever they got going on. I'm not gonna argue back and forth about no shit that I go through, that I went through, that I lived through. Like I've been in the streets, bro, and I've got out the streets, and I am a law abiding citizen now for going on 5 years. Like I have multiple degrees. I have contracts with different companies, and I go out and speak and do everything that I do. So I'm not arguing with street people or non-street people about my time in the street. You know what I'm saying? That's just because you did it don't mean you're guilty. Hey, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about, Big Heat. This is what I'm talking about. He said just because you did it don't mean you guilty. I don't know that lawyer, but the lawyer that I use, great. He fighting bigger cases now. Um, So me and my guys, we using Gabby Silva. Like, well, not necessarily me. I haven't caught no cases recently, but I've been recommending Gabby Silva, and Gabby Silva been beating cases, y'all. And she show love on the price. So if you in Detroit or surrounding areas and you get into something, look up Gabby Silva. Look up Gabby Silva. See, my lawyer was Kevin Basant. Kevin Basant was kind of expensive. I mean, I was fighting the Fed case too. Even though he was expensive, I'm telling you that, man, bro got showed me, got me, he got me out of there. I'm telling you, he got me out of there while I didn't beat my Fed case. I'm telling you, I had the best result that I could really look for with how many witnesses and stuff they had against me. And with me not knowing who my co-conspirators were and who was gonna talk and not talk, like I literally celebrated getting those 60 months. Like I walked out the courtroom like Tupac. Telling you, I walked out the courtroom because about a year and a half before that, I was fighting a RICO case and looking at 14 to 17 years as a cop. My minimum was 14 to 17 years. That was my cop for for the RICO charge. That was my cop. And I was like, dog, I can't. That ain't it. That's why I say my lawyer kind of scared me. He was like, "Look, all they got to do is prove you spoke in the will." I remember him saying that, like, "Man, this is a crazy situation. All they got to prove is you're spoke in the will." And I'm like, "Mr. Basant, if y'all remember my son Rico, I told him, and if people know me, they know I do music. It'd be like real life shit. Cause in the song I said it, you worry about the black and white, let me worry about the green. Cause he was like, this is gonna be a little more expensive. This Rico case is gonna be more expensive. I say, bro, it's cool. You worry about the black and white, let me worry about the green. If I gotta take another penitentiary chance to pay you, I gotta do that because I gotta fight the case. I can't talk to him. I don't know nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? So we did that, and shout out to Mr. Kevin Basant, a great lawyer, y'all. He fought with me. Like I say, he wanted his money, and I made sure I paid him. Even the day of sentencing, I think I paid him $1,000. Just on a like it may have been the balance. I just remember bringing money to sentencing. Like, shit, go some more money. Like, shit. I don't know if it was the balance or me just looking out. I don't know. Probably was the balance. I stayed in the hole, bro. But it was money well spent. And if I had to do it again tomorrow, I wouldn't have did it with a different lawyer. You know what I'm saying? We definitely blew my COVID relief. They didn't give me COVID relief, but that wasn't Kevin Basant's fault. I paid him for filing my COVID relief, and they did not give that to me. But by the time I was able to file for the COVID relief, um, which was called compassionate release. By the time I was able to file for compassionate release, the COVID, the damn disease went down, and the judge denied me based on it not being a severe threat like it was 5, 6 months before that. And I couldn't file before that because they approved me for release and then sent me back to my cell. Like, it was crazy, y'all. I went through hell getting out the feds. That's why I don't want no parts of the streets. So when guys online and YouTube, y'all want to argue about street shit, bro, y'all got to do y'all thing, man. I'm not that nigga. I'm telling you, if y'all want to argue about the streets, bro, y'all got it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a. I have my opinion about a sue serve or even my co-defendant about them not being rats or whatever. Like, but it's up to y'all. Like, if you think sue serve a rat, you can come on here and use your platform. With me, I understand that him pleading guilty don't make him right. Plead guilty. You know what I'm saying? He did what he did, and he had to plead guilty for his case. So y'all gotta quit using the word so loosely, but it's real rats. Like P from Quality Control. He a real rat. Like, he really ratted, really made statements and said this man did this, he shot me or shot my friend and did such and such. He did it. Like, that's a real rat. You know what I'm saying? It's real guys that's taking a stand out here. So it's up to you, man. If you want to do whatever you want to do on your platform, then that's cool. Um, just know that, you know, it shit be funky. Y'all get to talking about who did what and what did who, and y'all ain't never really been up against that wall, man. It get funky. I just thank God for me, having gone through so much young that when it got funky, I was over. I don't know. Let's just talk to my lawyer. That's it. You know what I'm saying? But that's from my experience. Everybody's experience is different. You know, maybe people have talked their way out of things and felt like they could talk their way out of something. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they felt like I can get out. I can leave out of here this way. But with me, I just have been through so much that I don't, man, listen, I don't want to kick it. I don't want to kick it. Um, I've had fights in the joint and wouldn't, listen, man, I don't know what happened. The very first one when I went to the hole, I wrote home and didn't know they could read a letter. And I got found guilty on that one because of that. That was dumb. I was under gang investigation for about 2 years. Everything. So certain things happen, man. Things be out of your control. I remember I came back from the hole. They was telling my dog, Lil Ricky, I grew up with Lil Ricky in Vineyard. They was telling Lil Ricky, man, Jackpot over there snitching. Lil Ricky say, nah, bro, nigga, bro, solid. You know what I'm saying? I ain't tell to get less time. I damn sure ain't telling to get out the hole. So when I came back, he like, man, why they? I'm like, bro, I showed him the investigation, man. I'm on the gang investigation. I done wrote a letter home talking about this damn fight and didn't know they can open up my mail, my outgoing mail from the hole. You ain't supposed to seal your mail. So that was me, being young, 18, 19, and going to jail. Shit, I ain't know no better. So I know that somebody calling you a rat, even though I literally walked out the hole with that paperwork. Like, look, man, these niggas intercepted my letter. I ain't never said, GD this or that and that. I was just, all I said in the letter was like, being that my bunkie was GD, we had to shoot the fair one. Me and some dude from Flint. And that they took that and was like, Mr. Hill said you the head of the GDs. He like, what? Like, Mr. Hill ain't said all that. And he didn't even tell nobody but the guys who I was like running with. This my experience with guys and just people being weird as hell, because these was guys I was with every day, hooped with, rapped with, everything. I'm like 19, some of these guys 25, 28, 30, and he was just like, dang, man, they talking about Jackpot said I'm the head of the GDs or whatever. And them niggas is, oh, that nigga rat. Like, y'all just can't wait to throw people name around. So when I came and showed them what happened, it cleared up. Niggas was back at, like, all in my face, jackpot, jackpot. And I kind of was like, bro, I'm straight. Y'all, all you got is your name, right? All you got is your character. And I done fell out with one of my homies that I grew up with just recently. Cause you assassinate my character. It ain't had nothing to do with paperwork or rat. But he was like, man, something about he hollered at my sister, but I hadn't talked to my sister. You can't say something. Bro, one thing about me, man, I am the type of person to tell you hell no before I just ignore you. Like, it's cool. I'm not about to look and just ignore you. Nigga, I didn't get the message because I haven't talked to my sister. I don't know what she going through, but I hadn't talked to my sister, and I screenshot it, sent it to whoever just to show, nigga, I haven't had no communication with my sister for you to say you sent the message through my sister. Like, so anyway, all you got is your character. And going in the next year, anybody that assassinate my character or questions my character or do anything towards my character, I got to cut it off because I'm 41 right now. If I was gonna be a rat, I would have been a rat 35 years ago. I caught my first case at 11. I'd have been told, been making statements, been whatever. If I was gonna be a punk, I would have been a punk in 2002 when I went to prison, 2003, whatever. Like, I'm just saying, or juvenile, hell, if that was the case, whatever it was gonna be. If I was gonna be when I say punk, I don't mean a sissy. I mean, if I was gonna be a punk, like I was gonna let niggas punk me, I'd have been a punk in at 10, 11. What people don't realize, I went to juvenile at 11, bro. And my name was Little Man for a reason, bro. I was probably 35 pounds, so just being funny. I was little as hell. And anybody that I'm telling, they gonna be like, dog, always been dog. I was in there trying to fight 14, 15-year olds. My homies had to hold me back. Like, Jackpot, well, they call me Little Man then. Little Man, you tripping. Little Man tripping. But that's my personality. You know what I'm saying? My personality is I'm not backing down. I'm not doing, you know what I mean? I'm standing on principle. So everything with me is on principle, man. And you not about to shame me and, well, a nigga scared. Never. I never been scared of nobody in my life. Like, nobody. Like, I fought the feds. I've never been scared of nobody in my life. So you can't talk me out of my opinion. You can't talk me out of my opinion. I've cut off people that I call my brother because they rats. They told, pointed, took the stand. A rat is a rat. I don't have to explain how I feel about ratting. Niggas know me, man. I just went through a whole situation with the feds and was literally bumping heads with my homies because I was letting guys work out with me as long as they brought paperwork. I took a Detroit car and made it a paperwork car. If you seen somebody eating with me, you knew their paperwork was good. That's the type of lifestyle. Now, the nigga MD did slide through. So when I say that, I always clarify this. MD paperwork was good. His Fed paperwork was good. What happened was, shout out to Apple and them guys, man. But what happened was MD told on them guys on a state case, and it wasn't even public knowledge or anything until it was public knowledge. So then the videos and stuff came out. But MD ate with me, but MD paperwork was solid. His Fed paperwork was solid. It wasn't like we thought MD was hot and MD was eating with us, and you know, it wasn't like that. MD slithered through the thing because in the feds, I can't see your state paperwork unless whatever. And he didn't even have a state case. He was on somebody else's state paperwork. And then it didn't come out until I was home, maybe like a year. So that person actually did slide through. And the MD thing is a big thing in the city. Peasy rapped about it. So, some of my homies was hurt by that because we wasn't doing that. Everybody know guys that's around me, bro. We doing quality checks and we doing paperwork checks. We behave in a certain way when you rocking with JP, man. Jackpot is not that nigga. You not gonna be my homie. My homie Ty came. Me and Ty same. I just talked to Ty yesterday. Yesterday, yeah, I just talked to Ty yesterday. Ty pulled up to the feds. He needed a haircut. I cut his hair. And look, man, bring that paperwork to me when they get your property. And he did. He came and joined my workout car. It ain't no, oh, I'm from Southwest. I'm talking about all our homies was the same. Ty get on the phone. Hey, man, Chuck said he got some bread for you. All right, tell Chuck to go give it to such and such. You know what I'm saying? Go give it to my girl, whatever. Like, these my guys. And I'm telling y'all that he still had to bring paperwork. So that's my personality. And I don't have to explain that because I've done hard time with people and they're going to tell you I'm not coming to the homie parties and all of the shit on the yard unless it's some type of quality control, right? I had a guy ride in. So my bad. So I had a guy ride in and his co-defendant told us that he was pulling in. His co-defendant was like, look, they're giving me extra halfway house because this guy need this drug program. And I'm telling you, the homie told us, man, he in the hole, and they letting me go to the halfway house 3-4 months earlier than I was supposed to go because they want him to come do this drug program here. And the dude got out the hole. He was exactly what he described him as. And the guy was like trying to be like, I'm kind of popular, y'all. Maybe I'm being humble or something. I don't know. Sometimes you can be too humble, but I'm kind of popular. I'm jackpot. Like, so I'm just me. I'm not trying to be extra or nothing. Like, I be cooling, but I'm just jackpot. So I coach like basketball teams and stuff. Like, I'm kind of popular. So when dude come, I see he trying to like be my friend, and I had to tell him like, look, dog, his co-defendant name was P. I'm like, look, man, P already done told us you was coming, man. Your paperwork ain't right. You done told on him. You don't. He like what? I say, dog, you done told on, bro. And it was people around like, man, this nigga jackpot. He's like, jackpot. I'm consistent. You know what I'm saying? They was around like, man, jackpot tripping. But I asked him, I say, bro, your paperwork ain't right. Dog done already told us your paperwork ain't right. I'm like, where you come from? Even when he was explaining where he came from and stuff, like, bro, your story not adding up. It sound like what he said. You rode in to take the program. They left you in a hole until they can ride him out to the halfway house so you can come on the yard and do the program. It's the RDAP program. And that's exactly what happened. He was trying to explain something, but he never brought the paperwork. So I explained to him, bro, you're not gonna work out with me. You're not about to uh, do homie days with me. And the other homies just roll with whatever I said. He's like, shit, fuck that nigga. He never brought the paperwork. If dog lying on you, just bring your paperwork. You gotta have your paperwork, bro. You went to whatever joint you was at, especially this the only federal prison in Michigan. In Michigan, you may be able to slide if whatever. But when you go into mediums and all that, they gonna make you get your paperwork. You got to get off the yard because the snitching rate is so high that that's the only way you are able to qualify somebody to be in your circle is to bring your paperwork. You got to bring the paperwork, right? So that's how I feel about it, and once again, you have to know me to know that this has been a consistent thing all my life. I've been me, right? I've been me, and I've had different periods of my life where certain people were in my life that shouldn't have been. Like I said with the MD situation, it was not like MD was popular, so we didn't do our due diligence. The due diligence was done, but we wouldn't have known MD told on them guys until we knew that MD told on them guys. And I was home about maybe a year when that video surfaced of MD sitting in there cooperating with them police. And it just is what it is, man. I don't have to speak on it. The East Side guys, it's more their situation. I was just in the feds with MD. It's more their situation, and they spoke their part a couple years ago, but and it is what it is. I don't know what became of MD. He might be, here. He might be in Atlanta, I believe. Whatever. Like, man, it ain't. I'm just saying, man. Sometimes people get through the cracks, bro. It don't matter how good your due diligence, especially in the feds, because you don't know what they got going on in the state. You don't know what they've had going on in the state. It wouldn't be on a federal paperwork. Then you got some guys who you never knew because it was a guy that had cooperated and it was not in his paperwork, but it was on the computer when he filed for a 2 point reduction. It was like, no, 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 sir. You've already received a 4 point reduction for extensive cooperation. And that ended up on the legal computer. Boom. So it's the same thing with people with child molestation cases and stuff. It ended up on the computer when they started filing for compassionate release, and guys was like, "Dang, I didn't even know he had one of them. Dang, I didn't even know he was a." So stuff happens. People slide through the cracks, especially in joints like Mylan where it's a level one and people not so much into paperwork, but in my circle, man, we check paperwork. Like I say, it's not to say people didn't get through the cracks, because MD definitely got through the cracks, and we definitely played cards together, cooked up together. I cut his hair and things like that. MD was my guy, man, and it was kind of sad, and not as much for me as it was for some of the other East Side dudes who really fucked with dog. Like they was sad, and I got it because we don't rock with everybody, and you know that was kind of sad, but it was what it was. So that's just my take on it. Um, I wholeheartedly agree with 21 Savage when he say F the streets, man, because we losing. We losing. Like we definitely losing. We losing leaders to the joint, to the grave. We losing capable people that could be very productive citizens and help us get to where we need to be. Taking the easy way out is costing us. So F the streets, man. Let it go. It don't mean stop taking stop taking account of stuff. If somebody, cooperated and told on guys they committed crimes with and all of that, then it showed some type of character. So you still should take note of that character. It don't mean you gotta do nothing to them, or it don't mean you gotta be violent towards them or anything, but you gotta take note of character because it's really hard to change character. And it's all kind of saying zebra don't change its stripes, a leopard don't change its spots, such and such don't do this. It just go to show you that if somebody is that type of person, unless they go through some type of drastic change in their life, they are that person. A rat is a rat, a snake is a snake. Y'all remember that. I'm gonna get out of here. It's been a long day, and I just gave y'all 73 minutes of nothing but realness. Follow me on all social media at Chosen One Jackpot. Y'all lock me in. Subscribe. Y'all need to check in with me. I do these kind of regularly. I know I do more, and I'm gonna do more. But I'm telling y'all, y'all need to subscribe so I can feel good about doing them. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening.